Are you just busy? You know that your finances are important, but it feels like it's just one more thing to do. It's important, but when you're juggling your household, your businesses, the finance within both of those, something has to give, right? Let's talk through the must do's when it comes to managing your money. Welcome back to the Your Money, Your Life podcast. We are talking today about must things to do when it comes to managing your money. We know that they're both important. So, what do you do? Got a couple things here. But first and foremost, we have to talk about the fact that we have to prioritize our money. You know that I am very passionate about this, right? But we have to prioritize taking care of our money. You cannot ignore it. And like, in fact, in my notes here, those are the first two things I wrote. Like, we have to prioritize our money and we can't ignore it. By ignoring your money, you're not getting ahead. This is not something that you can push off to the side. You might get by, but it's costing you time and money by ignoring the money problem. When you figure out the finances, when you take that fear out of the finances, when you take care of those must do's when it comes to managing your money, the work that you're doing goes that much farther. You're happier, you're healthier, you're more effective, you make more money. And I will talk about this for forever because it's so important. And I want you to get this. I want you to know that it's not just a nice to do thing or something that we have to take care of come tax time. Like, this is an income generating activity in your business and in your personal life. Like, if you want to achieve your financial goals, you have to look at this as an income generating activity. This is very key. But you don't have to do it yourself. You can outsource it. And this is actually something that we are going to be talking more and more about. Hey, I wanted to jump in real quick and tell you about the Cashflow Unlocked workshop. If you're tired of being scared of tax time and want to finally hit those income goals without sacrificing your relationships and time with your family, even if you just don't have the time for one more thing, this free workshop is probably going to be just for you. Inside Cashflow Unlocked, I'll give you the 5 essential keys to increasing your cash flow so that you can make more money, understand your numbers, and gain financial control and confidence, again, without adding a ton to your plate because you just don't have the time, right? This isn't just one of those classes where you get part of the information and zero help. I'm calling it a workshop for a reason. Yes, we'll go over those 5 essential keys, but then we'll walk first steps you need to take together so that you aren't left in information overwhelm. The event will start on April 18th. But right now, all you need to do is to get on the wait list. Just text me cash flow to 817-969-4653. I'll let you know as soon as you can register, absolutely free. And there's a link in the show notes. If you click that, it's going to take care of all that for you. It puts the text in there, types in my number, all that stuff. All you have to do is hit send. Again, that link is in the show notes. Keep it simple. Hit the link, be on the wait list. Now back to the episode. Okay, so you've heard now that the cash flow unlocked workshop is coming, and we're going to talk a lot about that around that time frame. I'm working on something really special. It's going to be available then, really helping you to be able to outsource this. I'm excited about it. This is something that has been on my heart that I've wanted to do for probably over 2 years now, but working on being able to actually make this happen. And then the logistics behind it, that's part that like I had to take care of, and that's being finished up now. So I get to tell you about this really exciting project here in April. But so you can't outsource it. Just know that it does not have to take all of your time. You can have somebody else completely handle it. But at a minimum, these are your must do's. Okay. You must have a system for checking expenses. And I'm talking to you, business owner. You have to have a personal system and a business system, and they really need to be separate. Mine, like, coincide and they have parts that overlap, but they're two separate systems. We talk about this within the month end, like they're two separate things that have to be checked. Okay. System for checking expenses. You need a system for checking your income. You have to know how much income you brought into the household. If you're a W-2 employee, you need to know gross and net so you can see how much money you're losing, which is also why you should have a business at a bare minimum for the tax deductions. But that's like a whole other day. We'll get to that soon. This is a first part of an exciting series that I'm working on. Okay. So, your three must do's: you must have the system for checking expenses, you must have a system for checking your income. And then number three is we have to double check your work. This is your must do's. Okay. It is not enough to set up an account with YNAB. You know, I love YNAB. You need a budget that's personal, and it's not enough just to set up your bank import within QuickBooks and call it quits. Okay. Like, you have to be able to do more with this. You have to, again, double check the data. You have to do stuff with the data. And we're going to talk about that more over the next 6 weeks or so as we get closer to the Cashflow Unlocked workshop. And it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. But that part is key. It's not just enough to set up the bank import. It's not just enough to reconcile, which is the next part of the double checking your work, is reconciling. Okay. So it's not enough to do both of those. There is like a third layer to it. Okay. We have to importing the bank transactions, I feel, is the easiest way, but you have to import the transactions somehow. So that helps with your system for checking your expenses. Also helps with your system for checking income, but those are not enough. And then we reconcile as the next step, but that's really not enough. We have to go that next step further. And that is really that's getting down to the numbers, reports, looking at our numbers. That's where that control and that confidence comes in with your finances. And we're going to get into like how to do that. There's going to be a really cool bonus set up with the Cashflow Unlocked workshop as well. That's going to help like take care of that for you. But those are the three key things that you must do. And when you're doing those things with your money management system, hopefully you have a system to do that. Really, like, system and then outsource. That's like the sweet spot, because you have the system, so it doesn't take a lot of work. So you're not having to pay as much to outsource. Like, I know people that charge $1,000 a month to do some of this stuff, but if you have the system, it doesn't take that much time. So then you have a lower expense for the outsourcing. You see, like, it's a win-win there. Okay. There are 4 things that I want you to make sure that your system is doing, just kind of like as a bonus. Okay. You have to be able to scale your system, because I know that you are a rock star. You're working on increasing your income. So as your income grows, this system needs to scale with you. Okay. It has to be sustainable. It has to work. It does not need to be, again, this time intensive thing, because it has to work when life happens, because we know it will. You have to enjoy it, which is also the key here with the system. So it doesn't take a lot of time. And then you can outsource it if this is something that's just like pulling teeth. Okay. You have to enjoy it. But the fourth thing, and most important, which brings us back to what we were talking about in the beginning, you have to stop avoiding it. We have to take care of our money. We can't just do this come tax season, which, ironically enough, that's why I talk about this around this time, because I get so many questions about, like, I didn't do anything with my taxes and I've got to get it done now. But we have to stop avoiding it. So please start prioritizing your money. Check out the Cashflow Unlocked workshop. Be on that VIP list so that you're one of the first ones to know as soon as registration is available. Again, that link is going to be in the show notes for you. Just tap on it. It'll prompt you to send me the text message. Okay. Your challenge today, I want you to figure out which one of these things that you need to work on first, and then send me a message. Let me know which one you're working on. I can't wait to hear from you and be the cheerleader in your corner. I'm so excited for your success, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Your Money, Your Life podcast. Wondering what's next? When you're ready, there are different levels of support that you can use on the path to creating unstoppable finances and your unstoppable life. After all, your finances are unique and your support should be too. Ultimately, we'll create a customized plan to ditch financial struggle for good that works for you, your goals, your priorities, your life. Go to workwithaimee.com to get started with one of our most popular programs, or you can book a Q&A call with me and we'll figure out what your next step should be.